We are currently experiencing a noticeable shift in the housing market as mortgage rates continued to drop throughout most of September, and that really gave a nice boost to buyer demand at a time of year when we have less new listings hitting the market and the total number of homes for sale is declining. And so as a result of that, the market picked back up again. We saw a decent drop in the expected market time, which means homes are selling faster. And we also saw another slight tick back up in the median selling price in Orange County. So we're going to cover all that and more in this video. This is our Orange County housing market update for October 2025. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Southern California, feel free to reach out to me. You can find all of my contact in the description below, or you can call this phone number here and get a hold of us that way as well. If you enjoy watching, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button and also subscribe if you like to stay up to date on the housing market in Southern California. So we're going to start by taking a look at a few graphs that were published in the most recent Orange County Housing Report, which is written by a local economist named Stephen Thomas. And so if you'd like to read his report in its entirety, just let me know, and I'm more than happy to send that over to you. So the first thing we're going to look at is a graph of buyer demand. And so this year, 2025, we're looking at the red line there. And you can see that buyer demand has remained relatively flat almost all year long, starting where it kind of peaked in March. And it's actually been increasing slightly over the last month. And this is important because this is the time of year when buyer demand is normally dropping. So if you look at all those other lines, you can see that buyer demand typically peaks in the spring, remains relatively strong through the summer, and then by the fall market, it is starting to drop slightly, and then it continues to drop more and more steeply moving into the end of the year, especially once we hit the holiday market. And so buyer demand has been increasing because rates have dropped over the past month and a half, 2 months. And so this has brought more buyers back into the market. And so this is actually the highest demand reading we have had since March of this year. And so Stephen Thomas says in his report, this time around, if it remains at these levels for months, the housing market will begin to thaw, home buyer demand will increase, and the number of closed sales will rise as well. Carefully monitoring the job market and inflation trends will pave the path for mortgage rates. And so the Federal Reserve, of course, is making decisions on what they're going to do with rates based on potential weakness in the jobs market. And then moving on here, we'll take a look at the active listing inventory. So this is the total number of homes for sale in Orange County. And so again, we're looking at the red line here for 2025. And you can see that we are starting to decrease slightly, which again is normal during this time of year. We have less new listings coming on the market as we get past the summer months. If families have kids, they typically like to move during the summer. And so once we reach the fall, kids are going back to school and less people want to put their home on the market moving into the end of the year. And so you can see we are actually following kind of a very similar trajectory to that green line there at the top, which is the average between 2017 and 2019, which Stephen Thomas likes to use as kind of his metric for a normal housing market. But as you can see, we're still quite a bit above. So we have more homes on the market than we did during the past 3 years, 2022 through 2024. And then the last thing we're going to look at here is the expected market time. And so the expected market time is the number of days it takes to sell all Orange County listings at the current buying pace. So if no new homes hit the market, how long would it take for all the homes currently on the market to sell? And so that number has been dropping, which is an indicator that the housing market is heating back up again. Homes are selling faster. And as the market heats up, it becomes more common to see homes selling potentially with multiple offers and above the asking price. And so we dropped from 90 to 85 days in the past couple of weeks. And 85 days, this is still the highest end of September reading since 2019. So even though things are getting slightly faster, this is still a higher number than what we're used to over the past couple of years. So now we're looking at a graph of the median home price in Orange County. And this is for all single family homes, condos, and townhomes. And I get this graph from InfoSparks, which gets all their data directly from the California Regional Multiple Listing Service. And so you can see that the the median home price in Orange County actually ticked back up for September, increasing from $1,180,000 to $1.2 million, which is about a 1.7% increase. Now, I don't have the numbers for the home price indexes yet, and I'll probably be putting those out in our Southern California housing market update video. So keep an eye out for that, and we can see if home price indexes are also starting to see home prices tick back up on a month-over-month basis. And the last thing I wanted to touch on in this video is the extremely low number of distressed sales that we have in the Orange County housing market. So if you're watching other housing market updates, you know, those clickbait titles about the housing market crashing, are we in a bubble? You may hear them talk about the number of distressed sales increasing. And while that's potentially true in other housing markets across the country, it's really not shaping up here in Orange County. And so this chart is just showing a snapshot of the total number of distressed sales, which is foreclosures and short sales in Orange County. And so you can see here that in September of this year, we had a total distressed listings of 8 and a total distressed closed sales of 6. So it's almost non-existent. We have very few distressed sales here in Orange County. And then going back to September of 2008, which is kind of right in the middle of when the housing market was crashing, we had a total distressed listings of 5,650 in Orange County and total distressed closed sales of 1,172. So we have a long ways to go to get back to those numbers, and we're really not seeing anything that's indicating that the number of distressed sales is going to substantially increase from where they are today. Thanks for watching. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home in Southern California, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I am more than happy to answer any of your questions and let you know what I can do to help. And if you enjoyed watching this video, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button and also subscribe if you like to stay up to date on the housing market. We're going to be putting out our Southern California housing market update in the next couple weeks here, where we're going to be talking about some of the other major counties here in Southern California.